G'day legends, it's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here. Before we get stuck into another great interview brought to you by Crannk.com and thatmetalstation.com, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and that way you can keep up to date with all the best music and interviews from all over the world. Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crannk.com and with thatmetalstation.com. So no matter where you are in the world today, tonight, it's a great pleasure. I'm having a chat with Richie DW Norton of Superheist, who are due to release their sixth studio album, MMXX, tomorrow, July 1st. It's an absolute ripper. Richie, thank you very much for joining me, my friend.
Thank you, Jai. It's a pleasure to be on, and I believe I'm guest 351. I'm pretty stoked on that number.
Exactly, man. V8 power, as we
That's
commented over there, man. This album, dude, is an absolute ripper, and I'm really glad it's out. And you must be really glad it's out, considering the last couple of years you've had. I think I've seen you live, and everything was rolling along well. Then everything happened over the last couple of years, so it must be good to finally get this out.
Yeah, it's almost like the 2-album cycle for us. We seem to churn through vocalists every 2 albums, and it kind of got to the point where we decided ourselves that it might be best to continue, if possible, without a lead singer and take on those duties ourselves. So we did that, and we slaved away at it for a couple of years, and I think we got it pretty good. And we've put out a record now. Well, we put it out tomorrow. MMXX that we're very proud of, and we hope that it really stands up to the Superheist standards, and that the fans get on board as well.
Yeah, the fans definitely will. I've had a really good listen to it, and listening to it, like, you do have Simo with the heavies there, and you with the melodies, dude, but it fits so well. And for some reason, it brings me right back to the earlier stuff of Superheist as well. I get all those vibes through there too.
Well, yeah, we wanted to, for this record in particular, we wanted it to be we wanted to capture all the elements that we've put together of Superheist over the years, whether it's taking from the heaviest stuff of Apocalypse and Chrome Matrix, or even the more pop direction we went with Ghost of the Social Dead, pop rock sort of stuff, a bit more commercial. We wanted to keep all that, but also add a little bit of a new element to what we do, and that new element has come from a far greater contribution from the other members of the band. We've got John Sankey on drums, Keir Gotcher on guitar, and the great Durrant on bass, and now doing lead vocals with me. So Simon in particular was a huge contributor to this album. He wrote a number of the tracks, start to finish. He might have done all the music for it, and I've done the lyrics, or vice versa with him. Like I might have done the music and he did the lyrics. But we really worked a really strong collaborative effort, and everybody had in mind that whatever we brought to the table had to fit the Superheist mold, and we did that. And I'm really proud of the guys in the band.
Yeah, I know it would have been a little bit back in 2019 with that change of with Zeke leaving, not taken away from anything he'd done with you guys, but the sound of where you guys are going, and with that Seize the Day single, I was really excited because I'm a big fan of you guys, have been for a while. I'm not, no full disclosure, but also in extremis, I love Simo's vocals. So when I got to hear you two working together, it kind of probably would have been the same for you, going, why didn't we just go down this so many years ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, look, as you said, you can't take away from what those former vocalists did with Superheist. Yeah. Each one of them, Berger to begin with, incredible talent, and what he delivered, his vocal delivery, and especially for the times, it was right on the mark. And that's, I guess, what gave us a lot of our success in the early days. And then, we moved to Joey Biro, and, he was a young guy with no experience, and he really stepped up to the plate and brought a world-class sound to Superheist as well. Then we had a decade-long hiatus and came back with a new vocalist, Ezekiel Ox. And again, if he's not the best frontman in the country, then he's equal to. And he's a fantastic performer, and we had some great fun and great times with Zeke, and what he brought to the band as well was particularly special. And so that was a bit, that's some big shoes to fill for Simo and myself, so we really had to work hard to get it to a level where it, not was any better than those guys, but was maybe an extension from the great work that they contributed to the band.
So can you tell me a little bit about your songwriting process for this album, considering you're all over the world, pretty well, all over Australia, and then you got Keir over in the US there? Yeah,
so given that this record was done between the end of 2019 and, mid 2022, the bulk of that was during the global pandemic with lockdowns, and you couldn't travel borders, and you couldn't go overseas, and you couldn't go anywhere really. A lot of people couldn't even go outside their house for a very long time. So we had to find a way to make a record, and we did that by virtually through text message, Facebook Messenger, transferring files on WeTransfer and loading it into Pro Tools. And at no point during the making of this record were any one of us in the same room at the same time, not at all. So it's really quite, I mean, I'm sure it's 2022. I'm sure this happens a lot, but for us, it was new and it was exciting. And I'm really proud of what we achieved.
Yeah, it does take a lot of work to do that. And you dare say it would have been a lot of late nights sitting there as well, because you're doing the producing stuff as well for a few other bands too.
Yeah, that's right. Well, but literally with Superheist, we're literally producing over Facebook Messenger, like Simon, like if Si was working on a vocal, he'd send me it. I'd load it in, we'd have a listen to it. I'd go, no, how about this line? Or what about this line? Or deliver it like this. And sometimes we'd even do like a little sound grab of how we thought it might be delivered. And, it's a slow process, but, 2 years, but it was really good. And, I think the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, and the Superheist fans, that's what I love about the Superheist fans, man. They're totally on board, and I can see a lot of them are really excited about what is to come, especially with that first single, and then today, the Destination Unknown single that dropped today. Can you tell me a little bit about that single that came out today and the film clip that came with it?
Well, you're right. Just to your first point, the response has been quite overwhelming, actually. Some of the comments we've received and the positivity and a lot of people saying, that this is far greater than what they expected, but also, it's Superheist through and through, and a little bit new again. So the response has been very humbling. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate that our fans have stuck through, the ups and downs of Superheist. I could write a bloody book about it, but releasing Destination Unknown as the second single was a strategic ploy. I don't think Medicated is the best song on the album that I think we released. It's heavy, it's catchy, and it's everything you want from a lead track, I would think. But there was a number of songs on the album that we could have chosen. So, I would reach out to some friends, some trusted mates, some fellow South Australians in Simon and Matthew Warnock. I'd burn their ears off with demos, and they tell me what was good, and so I've got some great friends that I can lean on for. I use them as a bit of a experimental ear, And another fan of ours called Douglas Giles, I send him my ideas and get him to tell me if it's any good or not. So we bounce ideas off good friends and some fans as well. So it's a collaborative effort of making a great Superheist record. And so Destination Unknown, very proud of it. Really happy with the video. The video was done by my great friend Richard De Silva, who ironically fills in on guitar sometimes for Superheist, and he was in Walk the Earth with me as well, and he's in a band called Bison. very talented guy. He does all the artwork for all of our albums since IRCR, and really stoked with the effort that he's done with his video, because we basically we're very time poor people, and we're trying to get in the same state at the same time's a challenge. So we actually got to be in the same room for the first time in 2 years, shooting that video in Brisbane in a production studio in Brisbane. So it was great to see the boys after 2 years.
Yeah, it would have been great to get in the room there, considering, making the album like all across the bloody world and that, and just to have you guys there. Did you get a chance to have a talk about like playing live as well, like what the future are with you guys getting out there and playing live, considering now everything is finally fucking opening up?
Yeah, man, it is. And it's so encouraging, like there's light at the end of the tunnel, which is fantastic. So, look, we've talked a little bit about playing live again. It won't be this year because I've got baby number 4 on the way. So
congratulations.
I've got to focus on that. And we've also got to finish MMXX Part 2. So that'll come out in a few months' time. So there'll be 2 albums out this year. And then we're looking to do Heist Fest 2 in maybe the sort of second quarter of next year. So we're talking to an American band at the moment about headlining that with us, and we'll do the same thing as what we did with 36 Crazy Fists a couple of years back. It's a great success.
That was an unreal show, that one. That was really good. Like, I went to that one. Took some snaps for that. And that 36 Crazy Fist pit, like all the bands there were just unreal, man. But when that crowd got in for that 36 Crazy Fist, it was nuts, man. I was trying to get photos, and like at one point I'm like, man, I'm going to lose my camera. So I had to like just put it down and mosh out with them, dude, because there was nothing else I could do.
Well, good. Well, you know what to expect at the next Heist Fest. So that's our plan for our next foray into the live arena. So look out for it.
Yeah, where's the best place people can head along? Is it www.blackmountainmusic.com.au to grab the album?
Just come to the Superheist Facebook page.
Yep.
Just find us on there, and we regularly update and give all the information out on there. Maybe once we get to maybe April, May next year, I reckon we might be on the road.
Yeah, nice. And I'm looking forward to this album coming out, as well as the new Rifleman, dude. I noticed you got some new Rifleman stuff coming out. It would be remiss of me not to mention that as well, because that was when I got to chat with you back in 2017. It was the Silver and Gold album, and I'm still playing that one, man. That's a really, really good album. So I'm looking forward to the next album as well.
Yeah. So in amongst the last 2 years of doing Superheist albums, I also did a solo album for my Rifleman thing. So that's a 12-song record. It's all finished. Mastering's just being done at the moment, and we'll get some artwork done, and that'll be out sometime this year as well. The album's called "If This Doesn't Get Your Attention, Something Else Will."
Yeah, nice. I'm looking forward to that one. So, man, I'm going to get you to pick a couple of tracks off of the latest album, and why.
All right. Well,
the album will be released when we do play this interview as well, dude. So
okay, I'll tell you what. We'll pick "A History of Violence." "A History of Violence" is a song that we had to learn or teach ourselves how to perform a rap style vocal. I guess I call it more like just a rhythmic spoken word, but there's definitely that hip hop element that Superheist has done for so many years, the new metal style stuff, and that features in this song. And it's actually one riff pretty much from start to finish. Even when it hits the chorus, it's just that one same riff, and even at the end, the song finishes, and then we bring that riff back in for another 4 bars. It's a real stomping riff. So I'll pick that one, "A History of Violence." The next one, well, you're getting me here. There's so many that I could choose from. All right, I'll pick another one, which is, I guess, some classic Heist style stuff in Mayhem, which was I think the first or second song that we wrote for this album, along with Medicated. So it's been around for a while for us, but brand new for you. Mayhem's a pretty good one too.
Nice. I want to ask about the track "Live for This" because I've only had the album for a couple of days and got to hammer it, and that I'm sure my favorite track's going to change tomorrow. But today, at the moment, I'm really digging that "Live for This" track. Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Yeah, look, that was another one that we considered as a single. It's a bit more commercial. It's still heavy, but it's a bit more commercial. It's got a big chorus. I was really happy with that one. It was a bit of a creeper because the first few goes we had of putting that song together, it just wasn't happening, But we knew we had something there, and we just kept plugging away at it until we, completely rewrote all the vocals and pretty much everything else, and just kept the riffs, and it turned out really well. We're happy with it.
Yeah, and I've got to ask, what's it been like, doing that Black Mountain Music, and kind of you and Chad and you guys kind of working for yourselves now? How has that process been? I know it'd be a lot busier, but has it been a lot less stress, I suppose, kind of relying on yourselves to do that and working for yourselves?
It's a really good question, man. It's something that I've been thinking about. And yeah, so Chad Ellis, and he's the guitarist and main man of From Crisis to Collapse, and myself, we have a record label called Black Mountain Music, which we set up pretty much exclusively for our own projects. So Chad does Crisis, and he's got Faith in Lies. So we release his material out of Black Mountain Music, and then any of the boys in the bands, like John Sankey, we release the Devolve stuff for John. We'll be doing Simon Durrant's got a solo album coming out, which is absolutely phenomenal. So that'll come out through Black Mountain Music, and then the Superheist stuff as well. So, and we've actually taken a bit of a different approach to this Superheist one, because this time we've done it, all on our own coin. We've got no money from other labels or any other contributors, and all our own time. And we've even called upon more young up and coming contributors, like helping us with content and paying them for their time and trying to promote them in what they do. The first video we did, Medicated, the lyric video, was done by our mate Shane Swanee Thompson. He's also our Sydney lighting guy, legend guy, and he'd been toying around with doing lyric videos, and I took it to him and I said, would you do something for this? And he's like, absolutely. And he worked so damn hard putting that lyric video together, and he really nailed the concept of the song with the footage that he brought to it. And I'm really proud of that. I think it's the first lyric video that we've done, and that was a big thing for us, and also a big thing for Swanee. It gave him the opportunity to work with a band that has some profile, and his stuff's going to get seen. And we've done that with another one of our friends, Shane Blade, who's helping put together content on Superheist TV, another great up and coming talent. And so that's our focus, more of a grassroots DIY, slow burn approach. Like, you won't see a shit ton of advertising and promo around, because number one, we can't afford it. Number two, we have a really loyal fan base, and we're not trying to really break new ground and become, this successful rock band. We're comfortable where we are, and we just want to make great music and continue to do so.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely have a loyal fan base, and that's one thing I've always loved about you guys. You've always been fairly accessible to your fans, and so giving of your time to your fans, and also to bands coming up through the scene.
Well, when you get to, Superheist has been together almost 30 years, right? And when you get to this point and you've had fans with you from 94, it's like they're almost part of what you do, and you consider them in everything that you do. So, you're always, one thing that I pride Superheist on is no two records ever sound the same. we're always exploring something different or trying to push a boundary this way or that way. And it's when the fans that understand what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go with it, and they still love what we were doing in our grindcore days of Apocalypse, you know, and they're still they're singing along to Crank the System, and they're loving IRCR, and then, you know, up to the Sidewinder and Ghost of Social Dead, and they're all still there, even though we're pushing the limits with the comfort zone on what we're doing. You know, I really love that, and that's why we still do it. It's for those fans that have been with us for 30 years. You know, we do it for them, we do it for ourselves, and we thoroughly enjoy that, and we really hope that this record stands up to all of that.
Mate, it definitely does. Look, Richie, this has been an absolute pleasure. Tomorrow, MMXX comes out July 1st. Everybody get it, grab it, buy it, put it in the stereos, crank it up really loud for the neighbors. They are going to want to hear it. Richie, do you have any last words, shout outs, or thank yous, or anything I may have forgotten you want to add in there, my friend?
Oh man, I want to thank the boys in the band first and foremost, because, you know, it's been tough times, you know, losing a singer for the third time, and the ability for everybody to, you know, I guess close ranks and just get through it ourselves, and everything that everybody went through in the last 2 years, and our fans and some of our special contributors like Darren Renison, who's our live sound guy. We call him the sixth member of the band, or now the fifth member. So, you know, those guys, and Richard De Silva, who helps us with our artwork and video clips now, and Steve Thompson, who's also a great help to us, and who's going to step up with some live guitar work as well. So those guys, and of course our loyal fans, and Crannk. Well, can't forget Crannk.
That's it. Richie, thank you very much for making some time to have a chat with me, mate. You have a lovely evening. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, man.